Welcome to Dil Ki Awaaz listeners. Hope you all are having a wonderful Saturday morning. And Yamini, आपका क्या हाल है?
मेरा बहुत अच्छा हाल है. थैंक यू फॉर आस्किंग. आप कैसे हो?
बस चल रहा है. Excited about today's interview.
हाँ जी.
तो यामिनी मेरा सवाल पहले आपसे है कि कभी आपकी मदर ने आपको कहा है जब यू वर ग्रोइंग अप कि कुछ लड़कियों वाले काम कर ले, घर के काम कर ले?
नहीं, कोई कभी नहीं कहा. वैसे हम लोगों को पूरी
अच्छा.
खुली छूट थी, जो करना है करो. सो या.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, for me, I think, my mom was always behind me कि कुछ कर ले, घर का काम सीख ले, कुछ, कढ़ाई बुनाई सीख ले. But I was always out playing like, cricket to sledging to whatever. And, I didn't listen to her, did what I wanted to do. And I read somewhere that people who end up as first don't actually set out to be the first. They set out to do something they love. And our guest today is a very good example of that. She's a woman who dared to enter a sport no woman had ever decided to take up. A
Yes.
path breaker, a pioneer of sorts. She definitely broke gender stereotypes. And
Absolutely.
I will say that she personifies an empowered woman in every sense, physical, mental, and spiritual. So, would you like to introduce our guest today, Yamini?
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Namrata. So, there are a few women in India who dare to break away from the societal norms and stereotypes. They have displayed unbelievable courage and a will to move forward in a society that is changing rapidly. While most of us dream of becoming an engineer or a doctor, you will hardly hear anyone say, I want to be a bodybuilder. But Sunila Pradhan uh, broke that norm. Sunila holds the highest recognition in the Limca Book of Records for the India's first pioneer woman bodybuilder since 1996. She's a techie by profession in Silicon Valley, a fitness coach, dancer, drummer, artist, leader, and a philanthropist. And her mantra is live a life with exuberant positive attitude. Welcome to Dil Ki Awaaz, Sunila. So happy and so proud to talk to you today.
Oh my God, such a hearty welcome. Thank you so much, both of you. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here to share my journey and, just to talk about things as to how things were or even, how I got into it. So thank you so
Yes.
much.
It's
Yes.
our pleasure
A
altogether.
pleasure. And I'm gonna just jump into this question. I've been reading a lot of articles about the bodybuilding women in India, and some of the names which stand out now, back not back then, but now are Shweta Rathore, Karuna Wagmare, Bhumika Sharma, Sonali Swami, Yashmin Johan, and many more. So tell us your journey as India's first pioneer woman builder, bodybuilder back in 1990s.
So I would say that was a very different journey. I mean, I had not even thought about it, as you just mentioned, Namrita, that I had not set to go on that path as such. But it also happened that, I was going into the gym for my training, and just as I was athletic and I loved athletics, and I was missing that whole piece of me when I went into college, right? And then college is normally very taxing, and I've been in the science stream, so you have practicals, you have classes, and everything, right? So I think that was something about me that was missing. And my mom, she is actually a yoga coach or yoga teacher, yoga trainer, and she was teaching at this gym, at the Surya gym, where I started training with my coach Arun Datarji. So that's how it all started, and I mean that it was like all by just by fluke, and I just had to follow my passion to be athletic, and it just continued there where he started training me, and that's how I got into it. That would be a very short answer, but yeah, I think it was very different in a way.
Very nice.
That is true. But like you said, okay, you got interested in it, but what attracted you about bodybuilding? Because first of all, it's not a woman's sport. Yeah, we've seen, I think, weightlifters, in that time, who represented India. But bodybuilding is something totally unusual for a girl. And especially, you have to go on the stage and show your muscles. And you coming from such a conservative family, hum sab ki tarah, so how was that? And were your parents and your friends supportive of that?
So I would say, like, as I started training, here's the thing. Since I was going to the gym, I mean, you have to, like, again think about the 90s, where gyms were not that prevalent, not that famous, or not that something, like, everybody used to go to, like now. And again, also you have to think of the times when they had like men's batches and women's batches, where I had to go into the women's batch, right? But with those college timings that I had for my I could not do the women's batch because it was later in the day. So I had to go join earlier, or even I had to even request my coach, I said, is it okay for me to come earlier? Or, things like that, because it was all boys and men working out at that time. And, so it was a little difficult and different, I would say, to be amongst so many men and boys and doing, lifting weights. So that itself was different. Although I would definitely like to highlight one very key point as Surya Gym, as the Arun Datar. It was his own personal gym, and he was trainer there and everything. So he had certain norms around it. Obviously, whoever came in there, they had to have respect again with each other. It doesn't matter, boy, girl, things like that. And so that was another thing, and he said, if anybody, anytime, if somebody kind of, teases you or anything, just let me know. That guy will be out of this gym. And that was like amazing to know, because, wo hota hai na support, sometimes you need that, father figure, even godfather figure, I would say. So he was like that to me. And on the other hand, it was very surprising that these boys, they would work out in the gym, heavy lifting and everything. They were very focused on their own progress, because they would be flexing their muscles and how, in the gyms, right, they have mirrors all around, right? So they would flex their arms, they would look at their legs. And I mean, it's like, I would like very consciously like, oh my god, what are they doing? Like, it's like very, very like awkwardish position, I mean. So, and sometimes they would be in the banyans, and like it's still awkward for a 16-year-old to be there around such people. It's very awkward. And with our society being very male dominated, so like all this is like very awkward to kind of fit in a way. But eventually I got used to it. And then I realized that all these guys, they were completely focused only on their own bodybuilding. And they were competing for national competitions. They were competing for, like state. I mean, they were just focused on their own progress. So that is how eventually, I kind of started getting into it. And obviously, I used to ask my coach at one point. I asked him, I said, what, can I get that bicep? Like, and I mean, it's like, because bicep is the easiest thing for a girl to come quickly, fold up your sleeve and look it up in the mirror, right? Than all the other muscles. So and he's like, yeah, why not? I mean, it's a pretty safe sport, and it's very unique sport, which then he kind of gave me the whole history of bodybuilding, especially for the women. And he showed me some beautiful pictures of women in the magazines, in the fitness magazines that we have here, right? So you have to think about again that time where you get those magazines, those international magazines back in India.
Yeah. Very few. Yeah, but yeah.
Very few, right? Like and they would be expensive, and like things like that. So he used to have all that stuff, and he showed me. So I think step by step he kind of introduced me to the sport in a way, when I was curious to know what these guys are doing. So that's how my questions were answered in a way. And at the same time, like as I was lifting more weights, and he kind of put more interest in me as well, because he saw my interest, he saw my dedication. And he started putting together workout plans, because now the next thing is the workout plans, right? Because they have to be different that anybody else is doing, just yaha waha. It's like it has to be a discipline, it has to be a routine. So that is how all started getting put together. And I started then I used to go back home, I used to feel nice, pumped and strong. And I guess, yeah, eventually I really started liking it so much that he said, you know what, I have an idea that we should probably introduce this into one of the shows, and you should come and just, showcase your muscles. And that was like, I'm like, really? Wow. I mean, it is, so I was like fascinated by this whole idea that I got muscles and, like I can showcase it and, things. So it is all started out of, some very simple question, but I think all that was, you know, it was a nice journey, I would say. And then
Nice.
from my parents' perspective, I think I missed that my
Yeah.
parents, right? Because
Mm.
as you would say, like still conservative, but still liberal in a way, I would say that they kind of were also initially, oh my god, what is this, like you have to go on stage and be in your swimsuit. And but at the same time, that was one aspect of it, to how what we wear on the stage, right?
Mm.
But at the same time, they were like, also my mom specifically, like being a female body, will there be any issues with my
Yeah.
pregnancies in future and things like that. So we had to consult a doctor, and so it was like a but all in all, I would say they did their homework well,
Good. Yeah.
and my coach also supported them. He gave them all the information that he could, and they were ready eventually. They said, you know what, actually one of the doctors at the gym, he would come there and he joked about how strong a woman can be with doing weight training. And he said, oh yeah, her baby should be out in 5 minutes.
Okay. Good.
That's she's so strong, in her core and her back and everything.
Yeah.
So so he like so my mom is like, obviously moms are moms, right? And now I know how moms feel.
Yes.
But, yeah, so that was it. And then obviously my dad also, he said, like, if this sport needs to be in a swimming costume, yeah, be it. You cannot go in a dress or any other attire, right? So it's like they accepted how the facts are.
Mm.
But that's a big thing from their side.
Absolutely, I understand. But well, I'm so glad that they were open to it and they, saw to it that you could do it. So yeah,
Correct.
great, great.
And so,
But I'm-
Sunila, you hold a title of Pune's Muscle Maiden. Wow, what a beautiful title. And I was reading an article on Shweta Rathore, who was Miss World 2014 Fitness Physique and Miss India of 2015 Sports Physique, and the first Indian female bodybuilder to win a medal at the WBPF World Championship, and has put Indian women's bodybuilding on the world map. So she mentions that women's bodybuilding has no sponsors compared to men's bodybuilding tournaments, which are a big driving force for the popularity of this sport among women. So why is it hard for this sport to get the profile it deserves in the media?
So I would say, there are a couple of different things. I mean, I would still say that even now, there are, it's kind of not seen as women with muscles. It's not seen well. I think that's what the concept is. At the same time, that is one driving factor. And the other thing is the educational background around it, or the information around it, right? Like, why women with muscles? So women are always kind of portrayed as beautiful, nazuk, sazuk, like all that beauty and all that. But at the same time, I feel physically they are never shown as strong. I don't know why. That's something which is, but it's very hard to perceive that idea because we did have female warriors. Like, look at Rani Lakshmibai, right? I mean, there's so many. I mean, yeah, there's like, it has been there, but it's just not portrayed well, I would say. And this is just the stronger side of the woman, I would say. And again, the sport, I still say that with all these things, it has still taken up a big flight, big jump. There's so many women out there, and they just want to do something that they wanted to, be different, or they want to feel stronger. And it's just how women are, right? They sometimes, if they want to do something, they will do it, right?
Very true. Yeah.
So it's just like that now. And with all the facilities, I think financially also in India now it's much more improved, so people can do it by themselves and things like that. Um, Even during my days as well, like I was a pakka athlete, I would say I would have done something more athletic if I would have given a chance. But at the same time, there was not too much support from the government as well.
Very
I mean, apart from a couple of sports, if everybody knows, it's like the government doesn't support any of the other sports. I mean, even now, even for women's kabaddi, I mean, tennis, these are all individualized games who have come up on their own will and their own support system. Right? So it's like a lot of things I would say there. And in general, in India, I think India lacks the sports side of it to support that piece, not just men or women. I think generally it just lacks there. Because Japan, you think about Russia, you think about America, there's so much support, like for all these different sports that they have. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're so right about it. And I played sports in India while in college. I played table tennis till national level, and I
Wow.
could see that. Yeah, I could see the difference between women's sport and men's sports, and how accepting people of male sports, and how they look at women sports women. कि oh ये तो ऐसा ही, they don't treat them too well as far as the beauty perceptions go.
Yeah.
So I think media and should change their rhetoric around how women should look. Like Sunila, you said, यही नहीं है कि सारे फूलों की डाली और वो नाजुक and वो नहीं होना चाहिए. You have to accept women in all their glory. But
Yeah.
Sunila, so I'm a huge proponent of girls playing sports, and I always loved it because it was the thrill of working together, working towards a goal, and staying focused, and overcoming your losses. And main thing also for me, it was traveling and making friends. So I think sports provides you with a lot of tools, even for your future journey in life. So you've come a long way as a young teen, going into the gym, working out, and doing what you love. And now then, you said your second journey, coming to the US, getting married, having a kid. And I think it was a new kind of a journey for you. So tell us how your perspective and sports helped you with that second coming, I'll say, Sunila.
Yeah, I definitely would like to touch upon, and I'm so glad that you really wanted to, you asked that, because the second journey, I mean, as I say, I don't want to discount myself from what I did, or I don't want to discount anybody else when they're younger, because everything is handy and dandy. Everything's good, everything's taken care for you, like food, everything's taken care of. You don't have any responsibility as such. The only responsibility is you go to the college, you study, you get good marks, and that's it. You eat, sleep, and have friends, and do your thing. That's it. And while after, obviously, once you are married and everything, you have much more responsibilities to take care of your family life. You have a family life, you have an extended family life, you have kids, and they're they have to get somewhere, so you have to drive them to educate them, or even kind of expose them to all these things that you did when you were younger. So I think that journey was also a tough one, I would say, and I think it's for any woman. Again, I would touch upon like having our society, the way we are brought up. It's not very easy for a woman to for the man to come and help in the household. Nowadays people are coming, that's a different story, but again, it's not a normal thing to come and help in the kitchen or doing dishes. So everything the woman has to do it, right? I mean, sorry, I'm telling this is the truth.
Okay.
So I mean, it's so which means now you are left with a lot of things that you have to be responsible for. And obviously coming to the US, both of you are like well educated, and now you want to have a job as well, right? Because nowadays women won't sit at home like before, right? Because they have paved their path for themselves. They're well educated. They want to use all their experience, knowledge, right? So obviously now, who is doing the, who is weighing all the, I would say, chores at home, or things like that. So you have to see from that perspective as well. And again, I don't want to discount any guys out there who are already helping, but the thing is, like, maximum number of households, I would say, I'm talking about only the maximum number of households where the woman does a lot of things which she is like not even given the benefit of, and that's okay. So giving a realistic picture, obviously I had the same things what everybody goes through, but at the same time, while at 32, 33 age, I had, like, because again I was athletic, I had already injured one of my knee while I was in one of the sports. And as I had put on so much weight, just like anybody else, I had put on like 60 pounds. That's a lot of weight for me. I think it's for anybody. But a person who comes from a background, who wants to do training, who wants to be very fit and healthy, and that's a lot of weight, and there's a lot of I would say, it's very, it loses your confidence as well. But at the same time, I put myself as a priority. That's another thing that I want to just talk about the Indian society, where women do not put themselves as a priority, or they are made to think that they should not be put as a priority. And these are the things that I learned over the period. Nobody taught me these things, or I saw it. So when you don't put yourself as a priority, the whole household is going to take you for a ride, right? And you have to put up that one step ahead, saying, I am putting myself as a priority. That doesn't mean you stop doing things at home, right? But it's in a way that the way you take care of yourself. And that's what I did. And since I had injured my leg already, actually, while I started my journey back to reduce that 60 pounds after my pregnancy and everything, it was a tough time because I went through a surgery for it because it got locked, and I had to really get my meniscus fixed for my knee. And that was another downhill journey, because now, in the US, right, we don't have any help as such, right? And how it's expensive, or even like, it is not like easily doable like in India. So you have to think about all those things that come to you, and then obviously you have to make sure that you still keep yourself a priority. Now, how you do it? So it was just that journey back. It took some time for me, and I was not in a hurry. That was another thing. I mean, I knew the reality is 60 pounds is a lot of weight. It will take some years to take off. It's not going to be 1 year, 2 years, but it's going to be a longer journey. And when you have so many other responsibilities at home, it's going to take even longer. So I have to set my goals very small. I have to keep my goal. Yeah, my goal is to get back to where I wanted to. But again, that goal is not going to be achieved very soon, Sunila. That's the reality. And the more if I push myself, I'm going to break down myself saying, oh my God, I cannot do it, because then that's not a real goal, right? But that did take some time, and I'm back to what I was. And then I hope you've seen some pictures online.
Yeah.
Yes.
You look lovely, and you look so fit. I mean, I know. And the YouTubes I've seen of you, I think you make it look so easy. Like yeah. So that's the best part about that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. No, and actually, what you mentioned is like, you make it look so easy, which I did not realize actually. Because we had like a 15-day challenge for abs challenge. I wanted to just motivate folks to get into it, because people say, oh, you know what, my abs, my tummy, I have to reduce. So I said, okay, let's do the ab challenge. And, it's just more of a reality check, saying, you know what, let's see how much do you kind of, lose in 15 days. Just 15 minutes abs every day, and let's see how much you lose. And they're like, oh my God, Sunila, that is so tough. You make it so look easy. You take your legs very straight up very easily. I said, oh yeah, right. I mean, I never realized it because I got so used to it, right? And
Good.
but yeah, you're right. No,
Yeah.
it's just practice. Even everybody will get it, you know. It's just practice, and it's not one day practice. Yeah, and you know, as a national player as well. So
I was reading a quote. It says, "I will not let age change me. I will change the way I age." And
yes.
I think you have proved that right. And so, Sunila, you are a trained Kathak dancer. You learned Kathak for 10 years. You love to perform with the Maharashtrian drum, widely known as dhol, during the Ganesh festival. And I saw your videos. My God, you were just totally enjoying it. I mean, I could not believe it was you. And then you have participated in the mountaineering expedition to the Himalayas, and you just recently picked up the passion for cycling with Team Asha during COVID times and covered about 735.8 miles in 3.5 months. So you basically are an all-rounder. How do you balance your home life, work life, and your passions? Any secret mantras?
I would say there's no secret mantras. I really wish, but I kind of tell people where there is a will, there is a way for sure. And you have to pave your own path. Not every single time you will have a path. And I have like heard a lot of leaders, I would say, in the industry or even of even sports people. So it's just about how badly you want it, and anything. And I give a very simple example usually, saying, like if kids, if any kids, if they want some ice cream or if they want a chocolate or something, right? How badly they kind of go around to get around it, right? And they get it in the end.
Yes.
So I think we lose that child in us at some point of time. We get bogged down with a lot of other things that shouldn't be. But I think that child in you should not die any single time, with any kind of experiences, negative experiences, if whatever. I think that child should not die. You should just continue being that child every single time in every experience, and that will get you to the next level. Because there's another, like, even any kids, if you ask, what do you want to become? They'll say, I want to be a pilot. Like they don't even know what are the steps to become a pilot, right? But see, that fascination to be there, they don't know how much is the effort, but anything, they just get on the path. So it's just like that. And I feel that, see, as kids, they are like naive and they don't know, right? But I think as adults, if we know, then why don't we put that effort?
Yeah.
Right? It's
True.
even easier because then we know that what all is coming. And I think we get fearful, or we kind of are not ready to put that effort in. That's where I feel it is.
Yeah.
That is what lacks, I feel.
Yeah, to be like a child is such a good answer. And like you said, prioritize yourself. Don't feel too guilty if you're giving time to yourself. We Indian women always feel guilty कि यार हमने ये कर लिया अपने लिए. So we should have made some, aloo pyaz, whatever, some sabzi. So, it's like, I think you've given some great answers, but अब time हो रहा है तो, and what I read of you, you have some YouTube channel. So tell us where people can find you on social media handles, and tell us about your YouTube and Instagram accounts where they can
Sure,
follow you.
definitely. So please, I mean, I do post very regular videos on my YouTube channel. It's Fitness with Sunila and Fit in Forever. So you can actually, probably we can also share it on the link once we are
Sure.
posting this. So and also I do have my Facebook page, which is for Fit in, and it's basically to be fit forever, kind of. And definitely follow on Instagram as well. It's Born to Be Fit Forever. That's the channel. That's the name and the handle.
Yeah.
And please do follow, and just do the small tips, as incorporate very small exercises in your routine every single day. And just as we make it a priority for food and water and sleep, I think this is another priority that you should make. That will help for the rest of your life. I think there was one client who came in the other day. She has arthritis and she's in her late 40s, I wanted to just quickly share is, but she wanted to start now with weight training, and I was a little bummed as to where should I start, get her started from, because now she's already into arthritis, and then I recommended her to start doing yoga, because see, right now if you want to start weightlifting with all your ailments, then it's going to be even challenging, and rather you may feel discouraged and so it's there's a time when you start doing certain things, but at the same time you also, if you're fit enough, like in your late 40s, that's fine, you can come and still do the, but I think where somebody has not done anything, or start small, some little cycling around the neighborhood, or
Yeah.
and
But yeah, good advice. And you're a vegan yourself now. You're a big proponent of, being vegan. And I think you have a Facebook page, Healthy and Wealthy Living, where you have some recipes also for
yeah.
vegan, going vegan. So I think those are great resources. And I will definitely advise everybody to go check those handles out. And if you want to follow, want to get into your fitness team, do get in touch with Sunila Pradhan. So all I'll say, Sunila, is, listeners, that she loves to wear a Nawari sari and she enjoys lifting heavy weights. A woman who plays the Maharashtrian dhol with gleeful abandon and also meditates in silence. She is truly inspiring and well-rounded. So, listeners, all I'll say is, let's not limit ourselves by gender norms and stereotypes, because our guest here has broken all of them time and again, I'll say. So, Sunila, it was such a pleasure talking to you, and I hope a lot of women will get inspired by your story. So, thank you so much for joining us on Dil Ki Awaaz.
Thank you so much, Sunila. Good luck. And I think women are really going to be inspiration, getting the inspiration from you by watching their videos. I think your watching videos are very, very inspirational. And the food you cook is very healthy too.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I would just say that, for any women, girls out there, anybody like out there, I would say pain is inevitable. Which pain do you want to go through? I think this is a better pain.
Yeah.
True. I know. Definitely pain. When we do the abs, you feel the pain. But yes, thank you so much, Sunila.
Thank you.
And yeah, all the best.
Take care.
All
Thank
the
you.
best. Thank
Bye.
you.